Good afternoon, CFM. It's Coach Matt with our Friday workout. We're gonna do some heavy pressing and then some volume pressing. So let's begin with 2 rounds of the warm up. The first round starts with 2 minutes of cardio. Second round start with 1 minute of cardio. And then we're gonna get some pal off hold in. We're gonna do it from a split stance and we're getting 15 reps. And I'll leave the stance up to you. You can either do front leg or inside leg forward. You could do outside leg forward. Either one is fine, but pull into that position with your body nice and aligned, chin, chest, hips, and hands, and then just press out into that tension of the pal-off band like so for 15 reps at about this pace. And you should feel it increase tension as you move away from your body and then decrease tension as you pull back towards your body. The next one is gonna be some PVC pipe external rotation stretch. So reaching over my shoulder, elbow to the side, and kind of using my shoulder as a fulcrum to stretch out those external rotator muscles, and then doing the other side and get 8 reps of that on each side. And then bird dog. The bird dog is a core exercise done from the quadruped position. So hands and knees, and then I'm gonna brace my belly, try to suck my belly button towards my spine, elbow and knee come together, and then reach out. So we're doing that 8 reps on one side, and then plant the opposite 2. 8 reps on the other side, keeping the belly really tight the whole time we're doing it. So as you reach the arm and the leg apart, you should feel your tension in your abs growing as the glute and the shoulder kind of fight that tension in your abdominals and when you reach those 2 appendages out, okay? Last one will be our shoulder press warm-up sets. And I would set up everything for the seated press and do shoulder press either from the floor or from a different rack, but different heights here, right? So this is our seated press setup, same height as the bench press setup, where my shoulder press will be at a higher height, like so. And you may want that because we're going heavier. So don't feel bad if you either move it or set up 2 different spots. But the movement is the same, where it's a strict press from the shoulders, but you'll feel differences when you sit down versus when you're standing up. When you're standing up, you can kind of move your hips around to catch that balance. When you're sitting down, I believe it makes it harder. It makes it harder for me anyway, because my hips cannot move at all to accommodate that position, and I have to keep my torso more upright to prevent myself from falling over backwards, okay? But the movement today is 4 sets, or the workout is 4 sets of 3 reps of our shoulder press. So this should be capping out around 90%, right? So try to start around 80% and move up a little bit at a time until you finish at 90%. 90% should be a threshold set, but again, that shoulder press is the strict press from the shoulders. So I am creating a lot of tension in my quads, my glutes, my abs, making a nice stable foundation, squeezing those shoulders back behind me, and then tucking my chin so I can make that bar press completely vertically. I'm not moving any horizontal direction on the bar, only vertical for 3 reps, and then either set it down or put it back in the rack. Superset is an L hang, right? So whatever you need to do, whether it's an adjustable pull-up bar and tippy toes on the ground, or you're gonna do an L hang in this position, this position, this position, but get 20 seconds of an uninterrupted hang with the abdominals engaged, okay? And that is our strength work for today. When we get through that, we have a Flex Friday workout, which means it's at your own pace, but I want you to kind of rush the pace a little bit so that you get some of that metabolic stimulus. If you want more of that high intensity feel, then just start with a little bit lighter weight, compress the rest into much smaller amounts, and try not to rest at the very end, all right? But it is based on 70% of your shoulder press, and we're gonna start there, and it's gonna be drop sets. So every time we sit down for a shoulder press, we're going for max reps, all right? So that means you should find at the end that I can't get it up above my eyeballs, and then I've got to bring it back to my shoulders and put it back in the rack, and that is where the set is over, right? So seated press, again, same overall pressing archetype as the shoulder press, meaning that I want it to be vertical and it's all strict. I can't use my legs at all on this one. And when I get to that point where I'm like, I can't quite get that next one, drop it back into the rack, okay? When you put it back into the rack, we will immediately go to bent over barbell row at the same weight. So if you want to, if you're solo and you pick this up and take it to the floor, you can do that. If you have another bar set out, you can do that. But bent over barbell row from straight arm position until touching your chest, right? And that again is maximum reps until failure. Now, the bent over barbell row is a little bit trickier because failure is it's kind of fuzzy when I could use my legs just a little bit, or I could use some momentum just a little bit to get it up to my chest. So try to hold yourself to strict reps and maximum good reps on the bent over barbell row at that same weight. And then you can rest 20 to 30 seconds depending on how you're feeling or what you're after for that sequence. And then we're gonna get our little arm and shoulder sequence. So it's 25 reps of a double dumbbell bicep curl. So I've got 2 dumbbells and I've got a weight that I can do for 25 reps. If you've hit failure somewhere in here, make sure you've got the next set of lighter dumbbells in range of you, so I can set these down and I can pick up the next lighter set and go immediately into it to finish my 25 reps with as little breaks as possible. Next, we're gonna go into the shoulder raise sequence. So this is 8 reps of each exercise. And again, it could be helpful to have the 20s out, have the 15s out, have the 10s out. And I'm trying to go through all 24 reps of this relatively steadily, right, with no breaks. So I'm going forward raises for 8, then I'm going lateral raises for 8, and then I'm going rear raises for 8, okay? And that is my sequence. And wherever I hit failure in there, I'm gonna drop down and grab the next lighter set and try to immediately go into it. Next one is gonna be band tricep extension. So I can take my band from my Pallof station, throw it over the rig, pull it through the center loop, and then I'm doing 25 reps of our band tricep extension. And the big thing on the tricep extension is try to get as much range of motion out of your elbow as you can, right? So if it's so hard that I can only get my arms down to right here, then I want you to either let go of some slack on the band or get a slightly lighter band, or have the band on a lower pull-up bar so that you can get full range of motion of your elbow. And then the last thing will be 10 reps on each arm of a half kneeling landmine press, right? So I have my barbell right here. Whichever arm I'm grabbing it with, I'm gonna have the knee on the ground is in line with it, and I'm just going from the shoulder position to the overhead position, right? 10 reps, and you can feel free to add some plates, some metal plates to your barbell when you do this. And then when you switch hands, also switch arms, right? So again, the same arm that's pressing, that knee should be on the ground, right? I'm kind of pressing across my body like that. And that is my sequence for today. 3 to 4 rounds, or 3 to 4 cycles through that, and that is it for today. Okay, have a great one, everybody, and I'll see you on Saturday.